Okay, today we're going to talk about how to make the slab box. The theme for this box that I'm working in class right now is childhood memory box. It's a very simple box. It's only 5 by 5 by 5. It's how you decorate it and finish it what makes it unique that it's towards you. I'm really focusing on this box here, the basic slab building and control. And just basically a little bit of decoration. You personalize it by what you put on it and how you decorate itself. The handle and everything is all theme related. As you can see, where the box is oxide stained, which we've done previously on some other projects. As you can see here, the box is simple, but each unique by the designs. The handle here is a little snowman, and you can see some snow here that kind of was very important to this person here as a small child. The cool part about it at the very end, we're going to decoupage the inside of the box with images of you as a small child. Now, if you don't have a ton of them when you were a small baby, we'll take them, pre-high school or pre-teen kind of thing when you were like, still cute. And this will help make nice little memories for your mom or dad. It's kind of an inside of the box. So we have a lot of color going inside there, and the box is very simple monochromatic color on the outside. But as you can see, all these designs relate to the person as a small child. Like they used to go to the beach, used to play in the snow, went to the zoo, they grew up watching Disney. So it kind of goes along like that. Each box has some meaning as them as a small child. But before we go into this, I'm going to talk about how to build this box. First thing we're going to do is you're going to roll out through the slab roller, which I'll demo in class. They must be at least 1 centimeter or it's about 3/8 inch thick. I have 3 pieces here I pre-cut for you to see. I'm only going to assemble part of the box today. I'm not going to assemble the whole thing. So you can see how I blend the insides and stuff like that. I hope you go along with building the lid and everything else as time permits. I have in my room these little pre-made shapes for you to cut out, so they're 5 by 5 by 5 to make it easy for you right here. And then one thing we have to do with these boxes, they have to have 45-degree angles on them. I have some 45-degree angle tools right here that you can use to make your 45-degree angles easier. You can use the edge of the table as well. Most of you will probably opt to use this. All you do is you take your item on all 4 sides, as you draw this tool along and make 45-degree cuts along all the sides. All I'm doing is I place that block of wood right to the edge of the clay and just draw it across, and it makes a nice 45-degree angle cut. You want to make sure when you're putting your box together, you cut all your sides out first, let them sit for a day, usually wrap them up, and then you go back to cutting these sides out. These have been sitting since this morning. As you can see, they're not very flimsy. They'll hold themselves. They're not sticky. You know they're okay to begin to assemble. As you can see, by cutting those 45s, I have a nice little edge that fits like that. Got one more side to cut, one more piece here to cut. This goes fairly quickly. Take your time, making sure you do it right. I've done this tool, used this tool for many years, so I understand how it works. And I've made many slab boxes in my time, so I understand how the whole process works. What you're going to do is you're going to begin to assemble your box. They've sat for a day, and you're going to assemble them. You need to score each side you're going to assemble one at a time. So score the edges. This will become my bottom. I recommend you begin to build this on a piece of wood, or we refer to as a bat. So it's easy for you to move around. I take my box, I line it up. There it is. Normally I'd use slip, but this is a demonstration today. So I'm going to recycle this clay. I don't want a bunch of slip in there, but I apply slip to both areas and then kind of press them together. And then I do this. Once I have those two pressed together, I flip it around so I can score it. I'll flip it back so you can see it. I score both these areas together, and then I do the same thing here. Apply slip to both areas again, and then I begin to press the pieces together. Now, when I have my box here, if you notice there's still gaps and spaces. Like anybody who builds any masonry work, anything like that doesn't have gaps or spaces, you need to fill them in. What I do is I take some clay and I'm going to make some very small coils to put in those seams. So I roll out a very thin coil, thinner than you probably will ever make or use before. They break off, don't worry about it, you can use those pieces. You need something you can meld or weld in that seam. If you remember, if some of you remember from the video we watched in hand building in the very beginning, that's what the lady did. She made some really small, tiny coils to build in shape with. Now what I do is, I take this clay and I take my water and I kind of spray or mist it with a little bit of water and spray my coil. And then what I'm going to do is I press it into that seam. First with my finger. I just go along that seam and I blend it in there. This helps reinforce it, strengthen it up. I go that way along the bottom and then I do the same thing along the top. Take my little wooden stick here, kind of press that seam in there really good. Again, spray some water in there. Kind of meld it, weld it all together. First with my finger, and I go back in with that tool, begin to blend it and shape it that way. I keep working myself all the way around the box. So I'd add 2 more sides, and then I'd add the top. I'm going to make a hollow cube. What'll happen is, let's see if I can do this. Once I have all the sides commit, I can go back over at the end, pretend I have all the sides attached. I can begin to blend all my seams along the edges as well. Kind of close up the seams on the outside because I have that coil on the inside. Kind of begin to fix it that way. I can also take it, kind of turn them on different sides, take it and tap it, make sure everything's nice and even. I can even use a paddle on it to help with the shape of it as well. What we're trying to do is, you're trying to make, if you look closely at this without the lid coming off, a hollow cube shape is what we're trying to build here. What we'll eventually do, once you can close in all the walls and build the whole piece in, you're going to measure down 1 inch, as this shows here on my box. It shrunk a little bit, but it was 1 inch. And then you cut off the top, and then you add a flange inside here that slides inside your box and fits perfectly. And cut it off. Then once you have your box completely made, you'll begin to start decorating it. So let's recap real quick on this project, because there's not a whole lot of demoing for you to see. You must cut out all 6 sides of your box first. Make sure they're 5 by 5 using this paper template. Once you wrap them up on a flat board for a day, let them sit. And the next day, you're going to cut you want to cut all the 45s the following day, the 45-degree tool. And then you want to begin to join your box together. Join your whole box together, build your flange on the inside. I will help you out while you're working on this. Once you have your box all assembled and built, you'll begin to decorate it. And then we'll fire it, oxide stain it. Once it's been oxide stained, we'll then glue the images on the inside. And that's how you build a slab box.